What if we found an alien probe and our first instinct was to attack it? It sounds like a scene from a sci-fi blockbuster, but it's a real idea floated by a top Harvard astrophysicist. Today we're diving into the mind of Avi Loeb and his controversial, yet fascinating suggestion for how humanity should handle a close encounter of the technological kind. Avi Loeb isn't your average astronomer. He's the head of the Galileo Project, a systematic scientific search for evidence of extraterrestrial technological artifacts. He gained worldwide fame and a bit of notoriety for his persistent theory that the interstellar object known as Oumuamua wasn't just a space rock, but potentially an alien probe. Now, he's taking his ideas a step further. Imagine this: a new object, let's call it Oumuamua 2, enters our solar system. It's behaving strangely, just like the first one did. It's not a comet, it's not an asteroid. It could be an alien reconnaissance drone. What do we do? Do we just watch it fly by? Loeb says no. He suggests we should be proactive. He proposes what he calls attacking it for exploration. Now, hold on. Attacking sounds aggressive, right? But Loeb clarifies this isn't about hostility. It's about a high-speed, high-stakes scientific mission. The idea is to launch a fast-moving impactor, a small, dense projectile, directly at the object. Think of it less like a missile and more like a cosmic billiard ball. Why would we do this? Because objects like Oumuamua move incredibly fast. By the time we confirm what they are, they're often already on their way out of our solar system, making a gentle rendezvous mission almost impossible with our current technology. A traditional probe would take decades to catch up, long after the target has vanished into the interstellar void. An impactor mission, however, could be launched quickly. The goal isn't to destroy the object, but to chip off a tiny piece of it. When the impactor strikes the alien probe at tremendous speed, it would create a cloud of debris, a plume of vaporized material. We wouldn't even need to collect a physical sample. Instead, we could fly a second spacecraft, a mothership, through this plume. On board this mothership would be a suite of highly sensitive instruments like a mass spectrometer. This device would analyze the chemical composition of the vaporized material atom by atom. Is it made of elements we recognize? Are the isotopes similar to what we find in our solar system? Or is it something completely new, something manufactured, something artificial? This single fly-through could give us more data about the object's origin and nature than years of observation from Earth. This impact and sniff strategy, as some have called it, is a clever solution to a very difficult problem. It's a way to get an up-close look at a fleeting visitor without needing the decades of planning and travel time that a sample return mission would require. Of course, this idea is packed with challenges and ethical questions. First, the technical hurdles are immense. We'd have to detect the object early, calculate its trajectory with pinpoint accuracy, and then launch our impactor and mothership on a perfect intercept course, all within a very short window of time. It would be one of the most complex and ambitious space missions ever attempted. Then there's the bigger question. Is it wise to shoot at something you don't understand? What if the object isn't just a passive probe? What if it interprets our exploratory attack as an act of aggression? This is the classic sci-fi dilemma. We risk starting an interstellar conflict before we've even said hello. Loeb and his supporters argue that the risk is minimal. A reconnaissance probe is likely to be just that, a piece of equipment, not a crewed vessel. Poking it with a small impactor would be like a biologist taking a tiny tissue sample from a whale. The whale might be startled, but it's unlikely to declare war on all of humanity. The scientific reward, they argue, is worth the calculated risk. The chance to definitively prove the existence of extraterrestrial technology would be the single greatest discovery in human history. But let's explore the what-if scenarios. What if the probe has a self-defense mechanism? A small impact could trigger an unintended and potentially devastating response. Or what if the probe has a self-destruct sequence to protect its technology from falling into the hands of a less advanced civilization like ours? Our mission could end up destroying the very thing we sought to study. This brings us to a fascinating concept Loeb has mentioned, which is related to something called the 3-I Atlas. Now, there might be a bit of a mix-up in the terminology here. The 3-I designation would refer to the third interstellar object discovered. But currently, we've only confirmed two, one Oumuamua and two I Borisov. Comet Atlas was a different object, one from our own solar system that famously disintegrated. However, let's run with the spirit of the idea. Let's imagine a third interstellar object is found, perhaps by the Atlas Sky Survey. What if this object, let's call it 3I Future, is the target? This is where the debate gets really interesting. Do we treat it with the caution we'd show a relic in a museum, or with the curiosity of a scientist in a lab? Loeb's proposal forces us to confront our own technological limitations and our philosophical place in the cosmos. Are we bold explorers, willing to take risks for knowledge? Or are we cautious observers, afraid to disturb what we don't understand? The answer probably lies somewhere in the middle. Perhaps the first step isn't to launch an impactor, but to significantly upgrade our detection capabilities. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory, for example, will soon scan the sky with unprecedented depth and speed. It's expected to find many more interstellar visitors. With a larger sample size, we might find one that is on a slower, more accessible trajectory, making a gentle rendezvous possible. But if another fast-moving, enigmatic object like Oumuamua comes along, Avi Loeb's audacious plan might just be our only shot at getting answers. It's a high-risk, high-reward gamble for the biggest prize of all, knowing if we are truly alone in the universe. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest discoveries require the boldest actions. What do you think? Is attacking an alien probe for science a stroke of genius or a reckless provocation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a conversation that pushes the boundaries of science and imagination. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of the most exciting and controversial ideas in modern astronomy. If you enjoyed this journey to the edge of science, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration of the cosmos. See you next time.